Peace to the 5% nation of guys and nerfs. Salam alaikum, alhamdulillah, rahmatullah to all the Muslim brothers and sisters here. Yo, this is the King of New Jersey. This is BTBTV. We bully the bullies. I'm your host, born divine almighty Allah. And we're about to, how them young boys said, we're about to get it popping, cracking, whatever you want to call it, right? But we're about to speak facts today. Yo, my boy, Elite Perfume, salute. Brick City AZ, peace, my brother. Crips TV Network, salute. Jersey in the building. We're going to start this off right now by me asking a question. Let me ask a question. Can you be 5% Muslim and also be blooded Crip? The way I got my lessons when I was growing up, the way my father taught me, you're going to serve one master. If you God body, you can't be no blood or Crip. If you're Muslim, you can't be no blood or Crip. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I learned. And I've been seeing a lot of people on the internet screaming, they're God and they blood. They're God and they Crip. They're Muslim and they blood. They're Muslim and they Crip. That's emphatically now cipher. You cannot mix positive with negativity. That's not right in the Zach. I put the link in the chat. So anybody who wants to dispute me or agree with me can do either or. But we're gonna kick that science tonight. My apologies for the late start. The guy had a headache earlier. I had to get some rest to clear my head. But I'm back. I'm ready. And here we go. We're not a blood or Crip. We're doing our own thing. BTB TV that started his own gang. You know how we do. Yo. Peace. Knowledge, born. But knowledge, Gaddafi, all real Allah. Yo, I got that link up there tonight, so Gaddafi, you're the supreme being, so if you want to hit that link, Crips TV, you want that link, hit that link. Elite Perfumes, hit that link. You know what I'm saying? So we about to do it like this, yo. The way I was taught when I was growing up, the way my old guy taught me, that you had to choose your master. If the street, if the gang your master, you stay with the gang. If the 5% nation or Islam, any part of Islam is your master, that's what you do. You do not try to put your feet in both worlds. It's not right in the Zach. It'll do nothing but cause confusion and it cause drama. I'm gonna tell you a story real quick. In 2001, I was in Southern State. Me and the guys was walking the yard, right? So it's this guy. He's from Camden, New Jersey. I don't remember the guy's name. So he walking, he bailed on me. We building, right? And we walk in the yard. And we're going through the greens and everything like that, right? And out of nowhere, he said, yo, I'm 50-50. I'm like, 50-50? What the fuck is that? That was some new shit to me because 2000, we didn't hear about no stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? In Jersey at all. So I didn't know what he was talking about. So I'm like, what you mean you 50-50? He was like, I'm blood and I'm God. You're blood and you're God. So I'm walking it out when I'm building with this guy. I said, how you figure that? He started trying to bore the science to me, right? And we born that science. I went to the other gods, right? This guy right here. Yo, peace, God. I'm live right now. Let me meet you back. As soon as the live is over, come through. I bet. Yo. So I'm like, yo. So I went to the older guys that was, you know what I'm saying? We was all in the nation. I was born in the nation. Some guys was in the nation like 20, 30 years that was there with me. This was Southern State, 2000, 2001. And I'm like, yo, God, you built with the this guy over here, this guy that called himself God over here? He's like, what you mean? He called himself God. I'm like, yeah, he said he God. He know the lessons? Yeah, he know the lessons. He's like, what you talking about, God? Why you say he called himself God then? I was like, because he says he's a blood too. And John Stratton, I heard that. But I'm gonna tell you something. Hold on, part. So let me go back to my story. So the guy was like, that's a fact now cipher. You can't mix positive and negative. You can't be a gangbanger and be God. Yo, we had a meeting. Guys got together, we had a meeting. So we ran down on this guy that called himself God, this blood God. And we was like, yo, what you say you were again? What you tell the God you were again? He's like, I'm 50-50. Da-da-da, I'm blood and I'm God, da-da-da-da. And the guy was like, yo, God. He like punched this savage in the face. Like, what, God? He's like, boom, punched the savage in the face. I rocked him. Boom. We stomped him out. We rolled him up out of there, pack your bags, you gone. We all went to the hole for a minute, right? So right then and there, we started letting everybody know, hey, you ain't bringing that shit in here. You ain't fucking up our culture with that I'm God and I'm blood thing, or I'm God and I'm Crip thing. You either one or the other. Choose your poison, because you can't be the true and living, walking around here teaching poison. You did? So then some other bloods, they was there. They was like, nah, man, that wasn't right inside. Da-da-da. Y'all in jail. Y'all sold drugs. Y'all did this. Y'all did that. No, we did this and we did that in the streets because we was living for survival at the time. Remember, when I came home in 98, minimum wage was $4.25, $4.50. So yeah, I went back to the streets and started hustling again. That's what I did. And I ain't making no excuse for what I did. The reason why I did what I did is because I had to eat. I had to feed myself. I wanted to start a family. I wanted a life that these white people was living. That they was born into with a spoon in their mouth. Where we come from, we didn't have no gang banging like that. Our gangs and our crews cliques for the block. You from Uptown. You CSP, Captain Street Posse. You from Midtown. You South Park Street Posse. You from downtown. You E-Port Posse. You phase 1, you phase 2. Yes, we hustled, we sold drugs. But we wasn't killing anybody over colors. All our beef came over was money and blocks. All our beef came over was people sleeping with other people's women, and that wasn't right to Zach. We handled that. But we never, ever had that gang in our cipher, that gang shit in our cipher. And like I said, if you're a gang man, you're a gang banger. But don't try to mix it with me. That's not what I am. That's not who I am. I'm born divine almighty Allah, the true and living God. So I heard a lot of people saying that, oh, the 5% started the Bloods in New York because they needed protection from the from what's it called, the Latin Kings and the Yetis and all that shit. We had Latin Kings and the Yetis in New Jersey. We still stay God. We still stay Muslim. We didn't mix the two. I mean, perfectly like you said, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So now we got all this, we got all these, this guy, Shy 120, this blood nigga, saying he's God. He used to be on the 050, he'd be on the 050 network sometime. Shy 120, a blood nigga saying he's God, speaking in our tongue, speaking in our language, and living like a savage. Marcus Martin, I heard that. I know that. Let me tell you this. Why would they have to start the Bloods when they was already God and they had gods all around them? They wanted to be down. They wanted to be down. They was right with the new movement. That's one thing I used to respect about New York and New Jersey was its originality. We didn't have to be no gang bangers. We was us. We was gods. We was Muslim. We was original. What is God? The Slater Show said, so what are God? What you mean, what are God? God is the true living black man. Arm, leg, arm, supreme head. The maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth. Father of civilization, God of the universe. That's who God is. Now what are God/Bloods? Gods/Bloods. What are they? They're confused. They're 10%er. They're traitors. They're cheaters. They're users. They're using our Jews to mentally manipulate these young boys and these young girls into thinking they're righteous. Making them think being a blood in New Jersey and New York is righteous. That is not righteous. You are not helping nobody. What you're doing, you're committing genocide in our communities. You're committing genocide in our communities. Peace to the Queen Renee Adams. Peace to Star McBride CIA here. Salute. Know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't care what you do or how you do it. Just don't use the Islamic community to push your propaganda. I'm looking for something real quick. Hold on. Don't use the Islamic community to push your propaganda. Because that's not what we about. That's not what we came here for. Oh, upon self. Real quick. Trying to find something. Big U is a fraud. I always said Big U was a fraud. And I ain't gonna stop saying it now. Big U is a chump. He's a traitor. He's a user. Call God Jamel Saladin. For himself. Brick City AZ. This shit been pissing me off. Yo, I'm about to send you a link. I want you to stop it. I want you to drop it on this topic, God.
Okay.
All right, bet. Peace. Now I'm about to get my the brother Jamel Saladin up in here too, man. He's getting knowledge of self. You know what I'm saying? He was with the 050 brand movement, but he was never blood. He thought he was working, trying to do something positive, and they turned it to something he didn't like. I sent him the link. Hold on one second. Yo, I sent you the link. Just tap that link. Come on in, God.
All right, cool.
All right. Peace. Yo, so you know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, it's not what they did that make me mad. It's what they continue doing to piss me off and make me mad. God don't get mad. We get even. We let the truth, we let knowledge be born. We let you know you ain't gonna play or use our way of life in order to make yourself look better. A lot of these guys, they throw that Muslim in them because they blood or Crip to make themselves seem like they ain't as bad as they are. Well, if I'm blood and I'm Muslim, or Crip and I'm Muslim, there's people gonna set me a little better. You know what I'm saying? If I'm blood and I'm God, I'm Crip and I'm God, they gonna set me a little better. Because I'm leading them with false positivity. What is false positivity? It never was no thing as false positivity until you start mixing Islamic beliefs and way of life with gangbanging beliefs and way of life. You know what I mean? So that's how I see that shit. That's how I always see it. Mr. N for life. He'll be up here. You can ask him yourself. He coming up in a minute. You know what I'm saying? You can ask him yourself. She have other guys up here too. Yo, Brick City AZ. You Muslim? You from the Brick City? Yo, hit that link, Ali Al. Ali Al, you hit that link too. Yo, it's time for the elders to come out and say something about this. Time for the elders in the Islamic faiths to come out and speak their minds. I don't care if you're 5%. I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't care if you're Sunni. I don't care if you're NOY. It's time for us to say what we say. It's time for us to start making changes and getting these poisonous leeches out of our history books, out of the righteous way of life, because they can't live a righteous way of life and then send their little homies out to go on a killing spree. My brother, he here. Salute.
Salute. Born divine.
Peace to the God.
How you peace to the gods in the earth, man? What's going on, bro? I'm chilling, bro.
Yo, the show I'm doing is blooded Crips can't be God body 5% or Muslim. That's a fact now cipher. Cannot mix negativity with positivity. And you know, a lot of times, like I heard this guy Shot 120 talk on 050 Network. And he came in there trying to press me like with the math and the degrees and all that shit. But he said, I'm the God blood. In fact, what did I tell the guy when he sat down the show? Emphatically now cipher. Can't be both. So what do you think about that, Doc? Because I see, you know what I'm saying? I see you fell back a little bit. You're doing your own thing. You know what I'm saying? What you think about all that mixing and mingling righteousness with negativity?
Well, if we go to, I'm gonna go to the scripture that I do know. And mind you, I have no religion right now, so but I respect most of the religions. But if we could go to the text right there, the ancient text that the Bible say, be not warm. It say either be hot or be cold, but don't be warm, because the Most High will spew you out his mouth. Meaning, don't be in the middle, man. If my thing is this, because the blessings gonna fall on the just as well as the unjust. You hear me? Now, a lot of people don't know why the blessings fall on the unjust. They say, why the blessings fall on the unjust, Saladin? The blessings fall on the unjust because they made up their mind that they unrighteous. You understand what I'm saying? They fully committed to the unrighteousness. So don't be in the middle. Yo, choose a side. Choose a side. But us in the hood, we feel a certain loyalty to a fallacy of the streets. You understand what I'm saying? And a fallacy to a code that is no longer there. A fallacy to a corrupt culture, to obviously it's an unrighteous culture, but it's a dead culture. It's not giving you any life. That's how I feel about it. So choose a side. I'm not telling you which side. You want to choose the streets? Go ahead, rock out. You like it, I love it. Go ahead and see how far you get. You understand what I'm saying?
Actual fact. And one of the guys said the guys that started the Bloods were really gay. They were not right in Zach. BD, you 100% right, dog. They was not right in the Zach at all. They did that because they wanted their old moment. They wanted to be God, but they wanted to be something else too. They wanted to show that they was elevated over the nation of gods and earths. When you can't elevate over God, you can't elevate over Allah, the true living God. Either you can be Allah or you can be devil. One or the other.
One or the other.
Be in between.
You can't,
like he said,
yeah.
You gotta be hot or cold.
Hot or cold,
can't be warm. It's a lot of you lukewarm niggas that claim to be God. A lot of you lukewarm niggas that claim to be Muslim. You know what I mean?
I don't play with it, the Born. I don't play with it. You know, a lot of people, you know, that's because what happens is then this is the culture. This hypocritical culture becomes the norm. You understand? But first of all, our forefathers, especially the 5% nations, from what I know about them, they used to call people out on things. They wasn't afraid to call people out on things. We have to get back to the culture of what, no matter what your religion is, I don't care what your religion is, call people out. Say, yo, man, choose a side, bro. If you for our community, you can't build and destroy at the same time. What we doing here? What we doing? You understand? So we're gonna build, we're gonna destroy the negativity, and then we're gonna rebuild.
Indeed. Hey, yo, you can't be out here gang banging and killing up, committing genocide, and then on Christmas time and Thanksgiving, you want to give out turkey and Christmas gifts to the community. You already killed half of them off. So you're only spending less than money you will spend if you, you know what I'm saying? Come on. You're not doing nothing. You're not doing nothing. You're not doing nothing positive. When you're killing your brother, when you're killing your community, when you're committing that genocide, that's like, I'm gonna say it like this. I remember back in the day when I was selling crack, right? And one of the older guys came to me. You're born. You got knowledge of self all your life. You selling cracks. He's like, you either can be positive or be negative. And I told him, I didn't choose to make these people get off these drugs. People are gonna get high. Just like a lot of guys drink, a lot of guys get high. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm doing is I'm supplying the community what they want. Either way, they're gonna get it. And I don't have to be hungry waiting for them to get it. And I know I was young, and I was wrong in that thought process right there. You know what I mean? But I also understand that you gotta see where I came from. I was like the Jeffersons in back in reverse. I was moving on down. I moved from my house to the projects. To the projects were a bunch of gangster gorillas there. E-Port Posse. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of gangster gorillas, you know what I mean? Yo, man, the Davis brothers. You did? Man, come on, man. It was crazy. It was crazy. And you gotta survive any way you can survive. And I'm gonna say this, and there's no excuse for what I did or how I lived. My mother was a heroin addict most of my youth. From I said from 5th grade all the way till I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
She's been clean for 26 years. Very proud of her. The things she couldn't do for me when I was growing up, she'd make it up. She make it up do for my kids. And when I caught my bids, she wrote them all out with me. My old earth. You dig what I'm saying? And I'm not making. I want to make no excuse that it was her fault. The Muslim brother Brick City AZ.
Marcus Martin asked. Walaikum salam, brother. Marcus Martin asked, "What about the A-Team? They were more savage than some Bloods I know." See, the thing about the A-Team and the Shower Posse, they had the endorsement of the CIA. They had the endorsement of the CIA. That funding there. That goes back to the CIA funding the president, the candidate that they wanted in politics, and they didn't only do that in Jamaica. You know, they did that in Iran. Or that's their old game. You understand what I'm saying? So when they dropped the bag on Jamaica, that money trickled down, and then that's why the 80s and 90s was the yard man was wicked out here in the 80s and 90s. You heard one yard man, he had his little Beamer. He weighed 90 pounds. He'd get out talking wild stuff. Bomba Clad.
Don't forget the Haitians too. The Haitians too, bro.
Yeah. But he specifically asked about the A-Team. That's why I dropped it on him. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why you look now. The Jamaican man though, nobody fear him like that now, but they feared him back then. Why? Because he hop out and talk that Bomba Clad talk, and he got that Mac 10 waiting to light something up. You see what I'm saying? Because that was America's money right there. This is old tactics that they use, and they still using the same tactics, but they use it within they changed it a little bit more strategic. They got more corporate with it. You understand what I'm saying? So now they just see the little kids say, okay, we're gonna drop it on the labels. How about that? We control it a different way. You understand? We drop it with the trolls. We put some unidentified guy in the streets and he blows up. CEO Chris, you understand? And don't y'all think CEO Chris is the only informant out here? You understand? You see that clubhouse? Watch that clubhouse over there. You see this YouTube? There's a lot of informants in here too. Straight talk.
Yeah, Aliyah. Let's speak, brother. Speak.
Yeah, that clubhouse kind of suspect. I ain't really been going up there too tough, to be honest with you. He keeping it real on that one for sure.
Yeah, I fell back from the clubhouse thing a little bit too, yo. They put out a lot of false positives out there, a lot of false narratives.
I found it to be very negative. Very negative. There's a lot of arguing, a lot of bickering. It's a lot of self-hate per se, and it's just a lot of us really against each other. Letting out your aggression towards each other. Like if you wouldn't do that in the street, you ain't gonna be going up there huffing and puffing. You know, when you see the person, you ain't gonna do nothing. Like, what's that about?
I'm gonna tell you some funny shit. I was in the clubhouse one time, and it was just the death of a cloud chaser with Big Chuck. He had his clubhouse, so he invited me, and I came in there, right? And I was going on a topic. It was some chick. I can never forget this chick. Her name was Cece, and we was building on Whack 100 and Suge Knight. And I was saying Whack 100 is an agent here to destroy the black youth, promoting all that bullshit he's promoting. And I think Suge Knight was 100% right for going up there on what's that nigga, the Gilly the Kid show, Gilly the Kid show on an interview, and said what he said. They said, "Oh, Suge Knight ratting. How this man ratting? He got 28 years. He's speaking his mind.
Wow.
He got the right to speak his mind against this nigga that he put food in his mouth, and now this niggas betray him all over the internet, all over TV, all in the hip hop world. disrespecting Suge Knight's name. Now, I ain't saying Suge Knight was a good dude, but I'm saying Suge Knight fed a lot of people, but a lot of people didn't have nothing.
I'm sorry, pardon me.
Go ahead, bro.
Somebody's going to take the money. I always said that. Somebody's going to take the bag. It is very apparent. Just look at a person's works. You understand? Well, if you don't want to look at the conspiracy, because we could get up here and say whack is this, whack is that, and we don't know for sure, right? But what I do know is that you're pushing out negativity every day and you're pushing out confusion every day. So whether you are an agent of the United States or not, I know you are an agent of the devil. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're not moving. You're not moving in the vein of the Most High. Okay. I would know you by your works, and by your works, you're looking shiesty, bro. So
he stay arguing on there a lot as well. Every time I go to Clubhouse, I always see that it's somebody bickering with Whack. I don't understand why that's going on. I don't know if they doing that on purpose to bring like viewers in, or that's just him just showing how big and bad he's supposed to be. But he's always bickering with somebody every time I turn around on Clubhouse.
He's doing his job. And the other thing is this: there's something called a negative algorithm. You guys could Google it if you want. It's a negative algorithm that YouTube uses, and Facebook was using. The whistleblowers already came out about Facebook using a negative algorithm, meaning they get more they get more people to stay on a subject if the conversation is negative. So they kind of gear the algorithm to more negative conversation, and then we are compensated by by more views and everything like that. So what does that do? People are not stupid. Then they start to change their conversation to a negative narrative. This is called behavioral engineering, because it changes us now. And before I got up here, I'm going to take a little bit credit for it. It was wild with all the podcasters going at each other for no reason, just shooting each other down. So when I came up, I'm like, yo, why are we doing that? And then immediately, people start to say, oh, you soft, you ain't with it. It's not that I'm soft. I already dedicated my priorities to the Most High. All right. So I'm sitting here for a reason. All right. So that's where my integrity lies. So for the unification of my people, why are you going out your way? Why am I even asking you why you going out your way for division? I know why you're going out your way, for a few subscribers so that you can make a few bucks. And that's not worth our whole culture, it being splintered off like that. But guess what? The Khazarian man is sitting around laughing again. He did it again.
All right, somebody in the chat asked, is China Brim Muslim in blood?
They would have to ask China Brim that, bring him up. I don't know what that man is. You understand what I'm saying?
Who was that?
Now, he's a 050 China Brim. He got his own state. Somebody in the chat was asking, was he?
That's where they're asking, because I started on the 050 movement. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I started on 050. Recently, I've been doing more of my channel lately. You understand what I'm saying? We're not really announcing anything. A lot of people want to know if I'm still on the show, this, that, and the third. That's my guy. I speak to him. I call him. I love him. That's my brother. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm firm on my integrity. I didn't come up here to get rich off of YouTube. I came here to do a job. I was sent by the Most High. I'm doing the job. That's it.
Oh, Taiwan sellers. You're 100% right. Peace, Taiwan. Yo, LL, you remember Taiwan, right? He from North. Taiwan sellers. He got the Taiwan sellers from North. He got the he got a new clothing. He got a clothing design. You know what I'm saying? Let me show you this how. You know what I'm saying? He got Chicago clothing. Chicago clothing on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? He from North. Taiwan sellers. He from Prince Street.
I don't know who that is. I might have seen him before, but I don't know him.
He's from my uncles and them on Prince Street back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Born Divine, I gotta pop out real quick. They waiting for me on another live over there. I'm gonna come back over and check you brothers though, man. Thanks for having. What's your brother's name right here, man? Introduce me, bro.
Ali Al. That's Jamel Saladin.
Ali Al, man.
Where you from?
Originally, I'm from Mount Vernon, New York.
Oh, you from Mount Vernon? Okay, so you still in the city, or you still up there?
Nah. I done moved out. I'm out here in PA now.
Oh, okay. You like it?
I love it. That's why, I had to move my family somewhere that was more reasonable. I didn't want my daughter in that public school, number one. I wasn't getting no type of land, like nothing. I was living in a goddamn tuna fish can for $1,700 a month. And
Wow.
you know, out here I got 4 bedrooms, 2-car garage. I'm happy, way happy.
Absolutely. PA is like that.
What?
Hopefully, you know, the community is good. It's a good school system for your children.
That's the other thing. I was paying
The first thing
$1,000
you,
a month.
not the school. It's you.
Yeah. I remind my daughter. I tell her, I taught you math. You understand what I'm saying? Because they got that common core business going on. So I make sure I teach her. I'm involved in the subjects that she learns, because again, there's a devil running that boardroom that says what and how your children learn. So you have to be involved in that, because the way he's purposely trying to teach them incorrectly to confuse their mind. You have to get involved, fathers and mothers, but especially fathers. It is our duty, fathers, and whether you know it or not, to make sure your child know how to read. I don't know how many men knew that. So it is your obligation to make sure that your children know how to read. Facts.
Yeah, I want to touch on that when you come back about that, as far as the school system and early education, as far as the parents being the should be pretty much the primary teacher. Even though they go to school, the parents should definitely be the primary teacher when they get home. Should be a continuing course of education going on.
It should be, but because life is so real, you know, you understand what I'm saying? Like especially in our households, a lot of our households are disenfranchised, where we're dealing with single mothers.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I got so much going on.
And you know, that's another issue too. The accountability level of why that actually is happening. So it's a lot of divisive things that's going on into why that is, and then how the male is being blamed. You know, we can go on and on about that, but there's a lot of things that's not really talked about with that, as far as why that actually is, why it's so lopsided. There's so many different, you know, things that's going on, and unfortunately, a lot of our women, they don't understand it, because they really don't. They really underestimate their oppressor as far as the things that they put in motion in order to keep it that way.
Oh, come on, man! So we got to go back to the 1930s. Then we got to deal with the great we got to deal with the New Deal. You understand? By Franklin Roosevelt when he introduced the New Deal. Okay, so with the New Deal, there was a new Social Security Act. It was called the child. What was it called? Basically, let's just say it was welfare. Okay, with that particular welfare, really, it was for the white woman and the white man, and because of the depression that was going on at the time. But they did allow the eventually the black household, the African American household, to be involved in this program. But one of the main, so the money obviously came from the federal government, but then it trickled down and it allowed the state to delegate the money how they wanted it. So a lot of states had this no man in the house rule, and that was one of the main things that caused division right away, because any male over a certain age, if you wanted this supplementary income, really they call it subsidized, the subsidized income, there could be no male in the house, you know. So what does that do for a young 17-year-old, 18-year-old son that's in the house? The mother got to kick him out ASAP. You understand what I'm saying? And then for a black man back then, he couldn't find work. He couldn't be in the house. You understand? So that was the cause of the disenfranchisement. And then later on, by the 1960s, the world had caught on and was like, wait a minute, this rule. So they was under fire. And by 1980s, they had gotten rid of the rule altogether. But that was one of the things. I'm not saying that was the all and be all of all the problems, but that was definitely one of the tools that was used to disenfranchise.
Let me say something real quick. I remember when I was young, my mother had a boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? We lived in the projects. And when they came around, he had to sneak out and leave, because he can't have a job and live in a project that still has a subsidized income. You know what I'm saying? My mother could work part-time. She was working part. She had a subsidized income, but that But having that subsidized income, that still wasn't enough to really feed us. You know what I'm saying? We needed another income in the house.
Hold on, boy. I want to address Mr. Nigga for Life. Mr. Nigga for Life. Do you see me over there doing that on that man's page like that? I started on his page. So what everybody in this room could do, for if you want to do me a favor, is go to Jamel Saladin page and subscribe to me. But you don't see me on their lives like that. Furthermore, for you to ask me if this man is anything and expect the answer from me is preposterous. Okay, we're not under the same organization. He's not the most honorable Elijah, and I'm his student or something like that. That's my friend. Yes, but you're gonna ask a question, then you're gonna pop over to his live and you're gonna ask him, "Are you blood and Muslim at the same time?" And then you're gonna say your spew, but you're not gonna put that type of responsibility on me because I was over there and I started with him to answer that. That don't make sense. Let's make sense of our talk, brother, Mr. Nigga for Life. All right. But come over to my page and we could build. You understand what I'm saying? I'm kicking knowledge over there. That's what I do. I told you I have an agenda that I want to stick to with my principles, and that's what I'm doing on my page.
Indeed. That's why I rock with Jamel Saladin. He came to the brick city to my job, and we built. I was getting off. We had a couple of shots. We built. You know what I'm saying? The brother's getting knowledge himself. He's ready. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna make sure he get what he needs.
That's a fact, though. That's a fact. That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? I respect him for his stance. That's why I want to know what I'm gonna keep real. The time I went with the 050 was because it was a beef going on between me and another YouTuber, and they was trying to like squash beefs at that time.
Which one? You've been beefing with a couple of them.
No, we're talking about 10 holes down.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So we was.
Yo, I'm gonna be right back. All right.
All right.
All right.
So I went over there and I split my spew. You know what I'm saying? I left it like that. They invited me another time. We talked positive, and that was peace. Well, the reason I stopped going over there is because I seen it's not 050 and it's not Harlem Legend. It was the other guys they brought up in there that was speaking nonsense that I ain't like it. Like the guy shot 120.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't feeling him trying to spit the lessons and then said, I'm the first blood god. That's a fact you now cipher to me. And I say people's names because I don't like to tippy-toe around situations. What I say because my word is my bond, and I'm going to stand on my word. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel about the situation. I'm going to stand on my word regardless to what. You know, when they were saying, and what I was saying about that, we was talking about the project situation. I was looking at the project with my mom. So you couldn't work and have a regular job. But it was mad drug dealers that lived in the house with their mother. Mad drug dealers that stayed with their women. You know what I'm saying? As long as the money wasn't being seen, they didn't care. They was putting you in a maze. You know how they make the mazes full of rats to run around looking for the cheese and shit? They was putting black men in mazes, running around looking for cheese, trying to get that bread because they know we was in an impoverished situation. They even caged us in like rats in most projects. They put big steel rod gates in the front of their homes when I was a kid. We had to learn how to hop on them shits to run from the police. They was trying to trap us in like mice so they could exterminate us whenever they had the chance. When they realized that didn't work, they put more drugs in our community. Like, fucking let them kill each other. You did. That's why I always said that subsidized housing, it should be meant for families to grow, not for a parent and kids to grow. Because a woman can't teach a man how to be a man. A woman only can teach a man how to respect a woman.
And what to look for in his future wife.
And what to look for in his future wife. Vice versa with a man raising a daughter.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's
A
not
lot of these
just a,
females, you can't tell them nothing because unfortunately they're being raised in these single households with along with those boys, and it's like they see their mother doing everything, and then a lot of them women congregate amongst themselves with other women, and they talk negative because that's just what they being taught to do as far as trying to hang around these fake feminist women, these Caucasian women. That's really the ones that really poison them. Is really them Caucasian women fighting with the white man, trying to get the same things that we all trying to get. Because that's everybody's common denominator enemy.
yeah.
So that's why I looked at one of the comments there. There was one gentleman that said something about, I believe his baby mother or whatever the case, and she ran off with his 2 kids, and I guess particularly one of them was a boy. So he was saying that he was doing good. He was trying to, I guess, teach him to be bilingual and stuff like that. So I'm assuming he speaks another language.
Yeah.
But the ending result is she ran off with the children, and this is just some systemically that's been going on that a lot of people don't want to talk about, especially women, and that is that they're being allowed to do this. And the reason mainly why they're being allowed to do it because they know the male figure is in that house, that male figure typically is going to be the one to teach the child discipline, teach the child about understanding about falling in line and following like order in the house, stuff like that. Most women can't do that with a boy like a male could do with another. Even a male, I never even met that young boy before, eventually can get his energy and just automatically know to fall in line with that male. That's just, you watch any Animal Planet, that's why I always tell people wildlife is no different than human life. If you look at it, we're the same. Look at the lion. The lion is what main goal is in the pride is just protect. It's protect. The lion's not there to feed those cubs. The lion's not there to teach them how to hunt. The lion don't do none of that. The only thing the lion do is allow the woman to do what she's doing with the children, allow it where no other male lion is interfering, and also not to mess with his cubs because those are the ones going to carry on his gene. Once he, gets old or whatever the case is, those lions cubs are going to be the one that carry on that gene in that tribe. So that pride, or whatever you want to call it. So the whole point is that's why I say all the time to these females, what makes you think that as a man, I want to be able to deal with you and then have to deal with 1 or 2 or 3 other kids that's not my children? You probably gonna cop block with me trying to discipline them. But at the same time, you making it seem like as if you're so high on the plateau or that you still are on the edge, when in fact you're not. Every time you have a child, and you deal with a man, the more kids you have, to me, the less likely it's going to be that you're going to find a man to accept you and all those children as is, not knowing what the surface is with your relationship with the kid's father. Because a lot of times these never tell you nothing about what's going on with the kid's father. They always say, well, why you worry about him, about the kids? Just worry about me. I've had to push quite a few females along because as soon as they said that, I already knew that they think that I was going to be brainwashed, just follow in line with them and don't ask no questions.
Right.
What kind of stepfather? What can I be? How can I be able to stepfather to a child and not going to be able to straight talk to them and be able to and deal with them directly without having to worry about who the father is?
Right.
So that's gonna limit me of what type of women or how many it's gonna limit the amount of women as far as selection wise I can get, because I'm going to be too conscious to always question things. I'm going to ask like, well, how are you with the kid's father? Or, are y'all discussing things about the custody with the child? Are you allowing your kid's father to play a big role? When you start talking like that, watch how many women start fading away. Like, whoa, they're going to start doing the Matrix on you because they looking like, why are you asking all these questions? Because they're not used to that. They used to Jews just following along with them, busting their shit open or whatever the case is, and just be happy to be messing with them. But no man going to stay with you. They'll hit it, but they're not going to stay with you if they can't really be engaging with those children like they would with their own.
Like, I'm gonna tell you something. My ex-wife, before me and her got married, this was we got married in 2009. Before we got married, she was telling me all this bad shit about her kid's father. Oh, they this bad, they do this, they wrong. And I was telling her, one played professional basketball, the other one worked a great job. You know what I'm saying?
So she had 2 kids.
Yeah, and she had 3 college. She had 2 kids in college. She had 3 college degrees. So she's a highly intelligent woman, book-wise. But everything else,
I'm about to say book-wise. Intelligent is that you're supposed to know naturally, though.
Yeah. So what it was is once we got married, I started realizing she was keeping the kids from their father. She was always telling me, the kids, the father want to be there, the father want to be there. The kid's father's calling the phone, she hanging up on them, blocking their calls. The kid's father calling her mother. Their mother like, oh, da da da. So I'm over the house, her mother's house one day when one of the fathers
you
called.
seen this. You were seeing
I
this.
seen it. And I told the father, I was like, check this out. My number is so and so and so and so. You want to talk to your son? Call me, and I'll make sure you talk to him.
Yeah.
They with me almost every day. We go. I'm taking them basketball practice, football practice, soccer practice, baseball. I'm taking them everywhere. So if you want to talk to them, call me.
You didn't tell her that when you were doing this, right?
Nah.
Okay.
I didn't tell her nothing. I was doing it, and then after a while, after me and them take the kids out, because I had my son at the time. We take the kids out. We all go out together. Then I would tell her. Then I told her like, yo, I let their father see them because that's the only right and exact. Because I wouldn't be a man if I didn't do it. Because I wouldn't want nobody to try to hold me from my kids. So I tear shit the fuck up. Period.
But see, females, from my own experience as well, because I have a child, I have a daughter. What it boils down to is that when women don't hear the words that they want to hear in that relationship, and usually it boils down to you're going to marry them, then what they start to do is they try to find the perfect situation that they feel is best for them and their child. That's where they make the mistake at, because once you have that child with a man, you can't just pick up and say, you know what, I want to find the best situation I think is best for my child, but exclude that other partner, which is to be the father in this situation, out of the child's life. When you do that, not only are you being selfish, but to me, you're being also unnatural in your practice, because now you're not allowing the natural parent of that child to actually be able to teach their child, not only pass down history and lineage that person had, but also to show that child like, hey, I still can be your parent. Me and your mother, for say, may not be together, but I still can be your parent, and I still could be in your life and try to guide you as much as possible to teach this child this is what you're going to do eventually once you have your family.
Indeed.
Have a child. That's what women are not really understanding, is that these boys are not out here really being nowhere near good partners to these females because they don't have their father. So it's like if you're the mother and you don't want to have the boy, you can't blame nobody but yourself, because you allowed the fact that boy did not have no male figure directly. If it wasn't his father around, like let's say, some of the males, of course, some of them are in prison. Some of them actually ran away, or some of them actually got killed, or whatever the case is. But a lot of the time, from what I know from my experience, most of the men that are not dealing with their children is because of the mother. It's not because he ran. That's a very small percentage that ran away.
That's facts. Actual facts.
They don't want to hear that, though. They don't want to tell you. They say, "Oh, that's not true." Because my situation. The thing is, I'm not talking about everybody. I'm not saying all this is happening to this group. The only thing I'm saying is that me knowing, growing up without my father, even though I know who my father is, he came every now and then or whatever, came around, but he didn't raise me. And all the other males that I growing up in the projects, living in buildings all throughout, wherever I live, North, wherever, that most of us did not have no father. Most of us did not have no father.
Yeah, my father was in jail most of my life. My father was in jail most of my life. My mother she dealt with two men, and she dealt with two men while I was growing up. My sister's father was there until I was like 12. He wound up getting remarried, and he was there for my sister, but wasn't there for me like he used to be, because
so your older sister, right?
My little sister.
Oh, little sister. Okay.
My little sister, yeah. He was still there for me, but wasn't there for my. He was still there for my sister, wasn't there for me, because I wasn't his biological child. His wife at the time wasn't feeling that. He's sneaking through things for me sometimes, but it wasn't like he used to do. Like, we used to go to his parents' house for Christmas and the holidays while I was growing up, and he got stopped taking me. He'd just take my sister. And I remember one time his mother was like, "Where's Quiet?" He was like, I left him home. They're like, so they got on his ass about that. You know what I'm saying? So he started trying to. So the holidays he'd come get me and bring me around the family, because he'd be with his family, his mother, his father, his sisters and brothers. They all call me their nieces and nephews, call me their nephews, they call me their cousins, they call grandkids, you know what I mean? So it was like, so he started doing it, but he was doing it because he was forced to do it, basically. And I respect that man, I love that man, because he did raise me until I was a teen. But the time that I really needed a man in my life, when I hit 12 and 13, when I was in the projects playing hopscotch with bullet shells, we didn't pitch rocks in the hopscotch. We pitched empty bullet shells that we found in our projects because it was shiny. and we a picture, and we do the hopscotch shit with that. I don't know if you remember that. How it was crack bottles, and bullet shells all through the project.
All over the place. Yeah.
That's what we see. Needles, hypodermic needles. See kids playing with needles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I know
that's nasty. That's nasty. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna get back to the point of the reason somebody had said something about how come the ATeam, Allah's team, was selling drugs. Allah's team, the reason they wasn't selling drugs at first. What they was doing was they were trying to get funding for the community to help, but they wasn't giving them funding. So the only way they could know to get the funding was to hustle and sell drugs.
Wow.
That's what it was. ATeam in Brooklyn, the reason the guys started hustling down there, so they could fund some of their community things. A lot of people don't understand and know that. They didn't sell drugs for the popularity, the fame. Once they started getting the money destroys people sometimes. The money turn a good thing, you doing something for a good thing, and then you start doing it for yourself. I seen it where I'm from. That's why I did it.
Money does it a lot. It changes people because it makes them start to have flashbacks of all the things they ever wanted in their life, whatever they desire. Now you have some money, so now you feel like you can just fulfill that fantasy of just buying and getting whatever you want, and that your status in life and everybody going to look at you different because now you pulling up in this new car, or you got this new fur coat, or you bought this new home. Now it puts you in the space with being around other different females you probably would never have been able to talk to before. Probably had no game to talk to. Now you able to talk to them because now you got this bread. So
remember you was dirty. Remember you was growing up dirty as hell. Them dirty sneakers your mother bought you that you had to wear all year. You get that one pair of sneakers, and your feet better not grow that year. You get a pair of sneakers beginning of school year, and you get one Christmas, and you get one Easter time.
Oh, exactly. You only usually get 3 pairs. The school year started, I got 3 pair of shoes. Always got a pair of sneakers. Then right around my birthday time, that's when I'll get a pair of boots for the winter. Right before the winter comes, right before Thanksgiving come, I'll get a pair of boots. And then what happens is around Christmas, you may get another pair of sneakers or shoes, and then Easter. That's normally how it went. But remember, once you got those 3 pairs, when Easter came, that was the last pair of sneakers you're gonna get. There was no such thing as getting sneakers in the summer.
Hell no.
Nah.
No summer clothes, nigga.
I see kids getting sneakers every 2 months. I see kids getting sneakers now. It was never like that before. It was always you got it for Easter because you had to be dressed proper, and you went out somewhere. Usually you go to church, whatever the situation was, or you go somewhere, movie theater, the castle.
Right.
Like we used to go to the castle, go to the matinee. They used to have a little
Liberty. Elizabeth, we used to go to Liberty.
Oh yeah, did y'all have a matinee over there too?
Yeah, we had a matinee to Liberty.
Okay, yeah. So you know how that was. You gonna save some money, and then you sit there. The floors might be sticky as hell. You may pull your feet up, and it be sticky as hell. But your eyes was more focused on the movie. You wouldn't even think about the condition. Could have been rats running around in there. You wouldn't have never known.
You get like $10, $20. You take your little girlfriend with you, and you enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
for $10 to $20, you can get into you can pay both your admission to the movie. You can grab some popcorn and sodas. You share the popcorn. You have your own sodas, and you can take a picture button. And you know what I'm saying? With your girlfriend, you take a picture. You know the picture buttons we used to take in the movie theater?
Yeah.
We take them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm tired of people trying to put what we did in the 80s and 90s, what these gangbangs are doing in 2000 and beyond. No. They are committing genocide because of colors. The things we did for survival and eat and live. We got tired of not having.
But they do say that like I know one person I think had put a comment up there. They had said something about this particular person being gang affiliated, or they were talking about. I see somebody said something about Big U. You got to understand. To me, it's a way different over here on this East Coast culture versus the West Coast. These guys are growing up over there on a block in the area where it's already a set there. That set been there. So in order for you to have lived in a block in California before a set even existed, you literally have to be in your 60s before that happened. You have to be like in your mid 60s because normally everybody from the last 3-4 decades had to be gang affiliated somewhere or another. Because you can't live in a neighborhood over there and don't be gang affiliated. There's no such thing. Over here, we have a choice, and people still chose to live that type of lifestyle. They still chose choose a color. So to me, that's some following on the highest level. The most disgustingest level is just to choose something just because you're doing it because to be cool. You're not choosing it because it's a way of survival. In California, that's a way of survival. They got to choose the gang over there. You know, you can't. Like one of the people that explained it best that I love at the time was a Gang. How Gang was saying when he grew up, how he grew up in the Crip neighborhood. And technically, he was affiliated with them growing up on that particular block. And then eventually what happened is as he got older, he wound up having, I guess, a relationship with his older brother, FaZe. And then when he tried to have a relationship with him, naturally, he wanted to do what? Kind of join in what his older brother was doing. So he wound up, turning over and becoming a blood, even though he never really was a Crip prior at that time. Anyway, he just lived in a Crip neighborhood. He was cool with everybody. But basically, he would eventually became a Crip, but they wanted him to become a Crip anyway. But he wound up becoming a blood because he wound up following the influence of his brother. Because most people tend to have some sort of role model, whether it's their older brother, cousin, uncle, whatever the case is. But usually a male role model is usually another male. Typically,
hold up. I mean to cut you off. The Game mother was a Crip. The Game was a Crip when he was living in that area. He was a Crip.
I forgot his mother was a Crip. So that would have been even more influence on become a Crip because his mom was a Crip, but he still never actually became.
And his father was a blood.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. His mother was a Crip and his father was a blood. So
but I definitely know his mother was a Crip. I forgot about that. His mother was a Crip. And people used to ask him about that. Like, well, how was it with your mother a Crip? They were like, well, at the end of the day, the whole neighborhood was Crip. So it wasn't a big deal. It was, to me, like he said, the difference was when he started getting closer with his older brother. When he started getting close to older brother, hanging on that side of town, they were all bloods. So I guess he liked the vibe of that clique people he had around him better. So he wound up just turning blood, and that's how he became a blood.
Yeah. And, but like I said, no people kill me with. When they kill me with, they became blood in New York prisons for protection. When most of the people that came blood was 5%ers and Muslims in New York at the time.
Exactly.
So what protection you need?
If they wasn't in prison, they lying because there's no reason how you became a blood for protection. And technically, that's when like the non-trades and all they all started in the prison. They started in
and they were all 5%ers, and they was Muslims. So why did they need to form a blood gang to compete with the Latin Kings? They could back in the day they formed together. The FOI and the 5% Nation formed together prison to go against the Spanish gangs if they had to. So
a lot of it. I'm about to say that it seemed like from my study of it, I hear what you're saying. It just seemed like some of them had actually joined, which wound up being a majority after a while, was because they was getting their ass whooped by those damn Latin Kings. Them damn Latin gangs was in there deep as hell. And they were sticking together. And they weren't trying to hear none of that bullshit. So that's what pretty much how I guess everybody had to come underneath some sort of banner. So I guess that banner wound up being what? Being the non-trade bloods. And that's why I believe is how a lot of that started in the prison, was because they were trying to ban, and then Jamaicans too, because remember you had a lot of Caribbean cats and everybody.
The Shower Posse. The Shower Posse was but what I'm saying is the way they band together to form blood, they could have banded together in a 5% Nation
absolutely
or the Nation of Islam. You understand what I'm saying?
They didn't want to form underneath something that was perceived to be. They didn't want to form underneath something that was perceived to be too positive. Because when you're dealing with the 5% Nation, all that, they didn't want to have that, I guess, as like a gang. So I guess they said, you know what, we're gonna want to just join underneath this thing. So we all are coming together underneath something fresh, where it's all new to us. Like it's kind of like you on one side of town, I'm on the other side of town. So instead of us bowing down to each other's set name, we come up with a whole new name, and then we all fall underneath that. I'm assuming that's what happens. Sometimes we have a problem with unifying. We have a problem with even spending money with each other. So we may have a problem with unifying underneath one banner. So we all come underneath one banner together, but a newer name, if that makes sense. I'm assuming that's what might have happened. I don't know.
That's what they're saying happened, but I can't see that happening because when I was in prison in Jersey, we was fighting the Latin Kings and the Yetas. We was fighting the Haitians at one time. We was fighting different groups. Because we had white supremacist groups in Jersey prisons as well.
Wow.
So we formed together. When Saturday went down, the 5%ers and the Nation of Islam and Muslims, we stood together and we rocked together and held it down. That's how it was going on in New York. These guys, they wanted to perceive themselves to be gangsters. They wanted to form a gangster unity. The Latin kings in the times, they respected the 5% nation of Gaza Nerves. They respected the nation of Islam. They knew if it came down to anything, it was gonna go down. So I can't take these guys saying what they're saying as they word is bond. Because a lot of these guys had knowledge of self. A lot of these guys was Sunni Muslims. A lot of these guys was Nation of Islam. They got into that West Coast shit. They was watching that Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Ice and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? All that gang culture.
Eventually Tupac followed.
Yeah. And
but
Tretch bringing that shit.
And he was following. He was following for sure.
Come on, man. We can't let these guys cop out with these BS excuses of why they became Bloods and Crips in New Jersey and New York. I'm from Jersey, so I'm gonna deal with Jersey facts.
That's why I respect Ice-T. That's why I respect Ice-T, because Ice-T, you know, he had to go live over there with his family and was raised, you know, as a teenager over there. But he never actually joined the set, even though he was mostly regarded and affiliated with Crips, but being around like, you know, Tukey and all of them. But he never was actually an actual gang member. He just was him. He was just a hustler, just getting money and just doing what he was doing. So that's why, to me, I respect him more than anybody that came from Jersey that was actually over there. He never fell in line with any of them sets just because.
But I'm gonna say something about Ice-T too, because Ice-T to me is a hypocrite. The reason I say that, the reason I say that, he left Jersey when he was 15 and went to Cali, right? He went to Cali. He stayed. By the time he was in his mid-20s, he was back in Jersey and New York.
He was?
So he was only over there basically 10 years. And you claim the West Coast. Same thing, the same problem I had with Tupac.
Yeah.
Yo, most of your family's from New Jersey and New York. And a sprinkle in Baltimore. But most is Jersey and New York. But you start up a whole war and beef with the East and West Coast over perceived slight by a person you considered your best friend and Biggie Smalls. You dig what I'm saying? You use that perceived slight to gain animosity and jealousy towards that man because he was blowing up fast and you blew up. You know what I mean? And that's, we talking about music-wise, Biggie blew up faster than Pac did. Ready to Die? It was a classic. You know what I'm saying?
Biggie was blowing up faster than Pop, but he still was not regarded as a bigger artist than him at that time. Pop was still a bigger artist than him. Plus, that's when that's when the movies and all that stuff came out. So Pop was definitely perceived to be a bigger artist. I just think that Biggie was just, because of being in New York and being on that label with Puffy and just being everywhere as far as visually, Pop didn't have that visuals that Biggie had. He just didn't have it, and he wasn't part of a powerhouse record label like Biggie was with Bad Boy. I think Pop didn't have any of those things. So the only way really for him to kind of stand out would really be him kind of like hanging in New York and then kind of being around Big at that time. Even though Biggie was not as big as Pop. Pop was still bigger than Biggie at that time. Especially back when they were really hanging out and they were wearing the do-rags and all that. You know,
yeah. He was big at that time. Sure. But after Ready to Die came out, by the time Life After Death hit,
that's when the scale tipped. Absolutely.
And that's when the dishes started coming hard. That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat nigga.
I'm gonna tell you something though. That's funny because I forget the brother's name, but I'll be watching him on he got a YouTube page. Light-skinned brother with glasses on. I guess he said he wrote some of the songs on Pac's album. I forget his name, but he got he's on YouTube. He was really breaking down the situation with Faith. And you know, I'm real familiar with her and everything. You know, she's from here and all that stuff.
Yeah, we know Faith.
Years ago when he was in high school. I mean, I know Faith. I see her around.
But Faith was smashing my boy Shorty Fresh when she was still digging with Dylan and Biggie. Shorty Fresh for Elizabeth. He was a rapper for Elizabeth.
Okay.
Faith was giving up the draws to him.
You ever watch that Drink Champs interview she did? I never watched it in its entirety, but it's almost like 2.5 hours. I watched like the first half an hour, 40 minutes of it. I need to go back and watch it. But she said a lot of things briefly, basically, and then she said she used to fuck a lot when she was young. She said I fucked a whole bunch of niggas when I was a kid. She was keeping it real.
Yeah.
So, A lot of guys, she said, so that's why I think that as she got older, that she really she's kind of like what I call sexed out a little bit, because when you have sex with so many people, you really don't even have the urge to really be having sex like that, because she was having sex so young and hot, so hot in the pants. By the time she met Biggie, she probably wasn't even all that freaky anymore. You know what I mean? But she probably had sex with probably like 40 guys by the time she met Biggie. She probably done fucked these 30, 40 guys already.
That nigga from Elizabeth North was
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
When they see some little red shit coming by, oh yeah, I gotta get that shit, because ain't too many red chicks running around looking like her back in the day. So if you was able to get it, you gonna go get some of that real quick. So
I don't know if you remember my cousin Keisha. My cousin Keisha was a singer too. They was off from Hillside. They was from they was right off of Grumman. What's that street off of Grumman?
Weekway section?
Yeah, but they Hillside. They was on Hillside though.
You talking about that's Maple.
Maple, yeah.
Maple Ave.
They was from Maple Ave. They was in that area.
Oh, right on that blue line right there. Okay, I got you.
So me and Shorty, we used to go there. I used to fuck with the cousins. He used to fuck with her. And then one time, my cousin started messing with her other cousins, and I was messing with the cousin. We used to be over there. And yo, she used to have niggas running in and out. Yo, TV is fake. Peace to the guys. Yo, hit that link, bro. I want to know what you think about this topic, bro. You an OG nigga from Brooklyn. Hit that link, bro. The link is in the description, man. Hit that link and come in if you can, if you're not too busy. But yeah, so I remember that. I remember a lot. My cousin took Lauryn Hill to the prom.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because he went to Essex Catholic.
Okay, but my cousin went to school with her. My cousin went to school with her, but she was when he was a freshman, she was a senior. She went to Columbia in Maplewood.
Yeah. Columbia was a good school though.
There are a lot of chicks up there, man.
A lot of chicks.
I don't care about that school stuff. I ain't care about that. I was going up there. I was going to West Side, but I was down South one at the other end. But I'm gonna tell you,
you're a true nigga, a true New Jersey nigga.
Yeah, a lot of girls was up there.
What's the original name of the whole house on the hill?
Who?
The whole house on the hill.
I don't know what you're talking about.
St. Vincent's, bruh.
That's
the whole house on the hill. That's the whole house on the hill.
You forget about what's the name too. You had a Catholic school up there in South Orange, Orange borderline called Mary Lawn. There a lot of kids up there too.
And
in the school in Elizabeth.
St. Benedictine was a Benedictine Academy at the time when they had the girls and the guys school together.
What's the name of the one in Elizabeth, that Catholic school? The girls.
St. Pat's and St. Mary's.
I know it's right there on I'm trying to think of the name.
North Broad.
Right after you pass the cemetery, you keep going a little bit more.
Benedictine Academy.
Yeah, that's not the area where a lot of Jews live around there, right?
Yeah, facts. A lot of Jews and a lot of Italians.
Borderline of Hillside, Elizabeth.
Yeah, facts.
It's like Conard Ave and all that around there.
Yeah, it's right. It's in Elizabeth, but it's right after you get out of Hillside.
Yeah, right on that borderline. Yep.
Yeah, right on that borderline. Yep. Yo, they had some bad chicks here too.
I know. Went to those schools. A lot of them schools, they were considered to be scholastically. They usually lead you on to go to college, and they usually go on and get decent, good jobs.
Yeah, they do.
Like Essex Catholic was like that. I remember Essex Catholic. I think that school closed. It had to close like the very, very early 2000s. I think. Like
I think so. Like 2000, early 2000s.
Yeah, very early 2000s. I know quite a few people that graduated.
I met you. My cousin graduated from there. My boy Rashawn Palmer graduated from there. My boy Max V World on YouTube, he graduated from there. Eric Sutton graduated. He used to play basketball. Forgot his.
They used to be known for having a good basketball program over there.
Yeah,
that's three to play for them.
We used to play against them all the time. Up with Elizabeth, we played against them summer league. We played against them one time during the regular school year, and then we played against them in the states.
Okay.
But back when we was playing, our major rivals was St. Pat's. You know what I'm saying? St. Pat's and Elizabeth and St. Anthony. We played St. Pat's and St. Anthony's a lot. And we played St. Pat's.
In Jersey City, the one in Jersey City.
St. Anthony's, Jersey City. We played them. St. Pat's a lot.
Yeah, and then the other school too. What's that? Roselle Catholic.
Roselle Catholic. Yeah, we played them a lot too.
That was where what's his name? Al Harrington went. If I'm not mistaken, Al Harrington.
Al Harrington went to St. Pat's and Elizabeth, yeah.
I thought he went to that other school too. He ain't go to both of them?
I went to St. Pat's and Elizabeth.
Oh, okay. I know he went to one of them schools that was good.
Yeah, because Elizabeth, we had
St. Benedict's too, and I forgot St. Benedict's too.
St. Benedict's was good too. Yeah. So Elizabeth, we had two good basketball programs. We had Elizabeth High School. We had St. Pat's.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if St. Benedict's was better than St. Pat's, but I know St. Benedict's was always regarded as a good basketball program too.
It was.
Where
J.R. Smith was there.
J.R. Smith and quite a few other people.
But back then we had Irvington High School too that was real good. They had a good basketball program.
Oh yeah, okay.
Irvington High School had a good basketball program. You know what I'm saying? A lot of good players came out of Irvington High. Honestly, a lot of good players came out of Irvington High.
I think my man came over there. He wanted to play for the Nets because I don't know they named that Gatlin Center after him.
Chris Gatlin came from Elizabeth High.
Oh, he came from Elizabeth High?
Yeah.
So how did they name that school? They named that community center behind him then.
I'm gonna tell you, because Chris Gatlin was living. He was living in Irvington. His father moved from Elizabeth to Irvington once he bought a house in Irvington. So he was living in Irvington, but he was still going to school in Elizabeth.
I think you told me this before. I think we had this conversation before. Because I used to live in a house right there, right on you. That's Union Avenue. I used to live right down the street from you, a block away.
Yeah, he grew up in Elizabeth, went to school in Elizabeth, but he moved to Irvington when he was in high school. So, so he was like, he was going to school. He was going to school in Elizabeth, living in Irvington.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But Chris Gatlin, Ray Gatlin, his father was my assistant basketball coach.
Did he play ball too or no?
Yeah, he played ball too. He was 92 back in the day.
So he went to NBA or he just was playing ball like college and high school?
No, I think I'm not sure. They went to the CBA. I think he was in the CBA.
CBA, okay.
Him and Mr. Donald Stewart Sr. They both went to the CBA, but Donald Stewart Sr. I think he went to the NBA too for a little while. Just like Huey Brown, he's from Elizabeth. He played in the NBA, but he's from Elizabeth. He went to Elizabeth Hall of Fame. So a lot of top coaches and basketball players, they came out of Elizabeth. Elizabeth was stacked with talent because at one time, we only had two main high schools they played for, Elizabeth High and St. Pat's. My bad, at St. Mary's, but St. Mary's team was always trash growing up. You know what I'm saying? But the two major schools were Elizabeth High and St. Pat's. Yeah. But now we talking about the gang. The gang. I talked to me and Daz Dilger was talking one day, right? Mm-hmm. And Daz Dilger, he a 5%. He got about it. Divine Allah Zigzag Zig. That's where Daz come from. You know what I'm saying? Divine Allah Zigzag Zig. He said the reason he got knowledge of self, but he was always a Crip because that was his neighborhood. That's where they grew up. You know what I'm saying? So he could be 5%, but he could never leave the Crips because that's where he's from. You know what I'm saying? That was his lineage. You know what I mean? He grew up as a Crip. He was born and raised in a Crip neighborhood. So that was his protection. When he got older, he decided he wanted to have knowledge of self. Yeah,
well, one thing I will say is that at least they was a little bit more unified in the way they strategized at gangs in those particular cities, because you got to think about it. You can't go nowhere in these areas where majority of the city is this or that. You're going to see little sprinkles of this and that. But when you come down to Long Beach, they only got one. They may got 10 sets, but they only got one gang there. There's Crips.
No, hold on. No, they got one blood set there.
I ain't never heard that. They said there's no blood. They said blood set not surviving there. I've never heard of a blood set in Long Beach. Never.
They had a blood set. Yes, they had a blood set in Long Beach. My stepfather was from Long Beach. He took me. It was a one blood set. I know for a fact it was one blood set because the one guy from a blood set in Long Beach came to Elizabeth High School. I'm telling people, they like, no, it was all Crips. No, it was one blood set. Anybody that's old enough to know, they had to tell you it was one blood set. It was Long Beach. It was one blood set.
I never heard that. Because I heard somebody try to say that, and the dude was laughing. He was like, listen, he said, I know you ain't been in Long Beach. Because he said, if you've been in Long Beach or you been no family been in Long Beach, you ain't never seen no bloods in our hood. We don't got there's no bloods in our whole city. That's why I know I've never heard that. Like everybody I've ever heard or talked to from Long Beach, even the rappers, whoever, they always say that. You'll see an Asian group, right, have a gang set, but they're going to be Crips too. I've never heard no bloods.
I'm telling you, there was one blood set.
Long Beach. That's like Oakland. That's like Oakland. People think, oh, Oakland, they got mad gangs and all that. I'm like, that might be the case, but like I know I messed with this dude from Oakland, right? Real good cat. He real about nature and like he really He likes the Kaba Kamini. Like he into this whole Tariq Nasheed. He loved those type of guys.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he eats a certain way. He smokes hella weed and stuff, but he eats a certain way. He eats a lot of organic, natural stuff. Young guy. But the thing about him is that I asked him, I said, well, yeah, I've never heard of y'all having any gangs over there in Oakland. He's like, nah, hell no. He said, ain't no Bloods and Crips here. He said, ain't no Bloods and Crips here. And somebody tried to tell me there was. I said, where? Because I said, I know people from over there, and they tell me straight. They said, there is no Bloods and Crips in Oakland. They got gangs and blocks, but no gangs. Like, I mean, no.
Oakland, I was listening to some Oakland rappers speak.
Have you ever heard of that? No.
Yeah, they got Blood Center Oakland. It's not a real big city. They got Blood Center Oakland. And they got Blood because that's what you call it from the Too Short from Oakland. And he's a Blood.
I never heard Short was no Blood. You sure about that?
Too Short's a Blood, yeah. He's a Blood or a Crip. I think he's Blood. I think Too Short's a Blood. Okay.
Because I know also too over there where what's the name from? What's his name?
Philly. Philly don't got no gangs. Philly ran.
Where he from? I heard there's no gangs over there neither.
Who?
Where E40's from?
E40 from
Vallejo.
Vallejo got gangs because Mac Dre had a gang. They was in a gang.
Oh, okay.
And Yuck Mouth was in a gang. Yuck Mouth a gang banger.
Yuck Mouth from Oakland though. He's from Oakland though.
He's from Oakland. He's a Blood, yeah.
Yeah, I never heard of that. For real?
Yeah, Yuck Mouth's a Blood.
Well, you know, as time goes on, a lot of these gangs, you know, they find their way into these communities, and people want to be the first one to open up a brand. It's kind of like opening up a franchise. They want to be the first one. They want to be the OG, the double OG, triple, whatever. They want to be the lead person. So a lot of times people would try their best to try to bring something somewhere. Have no knowledge of what they bring, and don't have no history of running no type of business ever. Let alone you're gonna run a gang. Running a gang is like running a corporation. That's running a business. You're gonna be in charge of things. You're gonna have liabilities. You're gonna have to be accountable. This is how business is structured. So if you want to be a gang member, you got to be structured. And this is one of the reasons why I respect people like on the gang tip. At that time, I respect people like Trife and all them from Brooklyn, because see, the thing with him was he, like a lot of people, because he's same age, there was no gangs over here. We had gangs, but not Bloods and Crips. We never had that up here.
The Decepticons.
So some type of way or another, he had to fall in. Some type of way or another, he had to fall in and wound up becoming a follower. In order for him to even be a gang in the first place, you got to be a follower. You can't just be in it and don't be. So that's something that everybody has to accept when you're a gang member. You are a follower. You have became a follower. Facts. So once you've done that, regardless of whatever you did after that, you had to follow in order to lead. So the thing I can respect about him, unlike a lot of other people that became gang members, is that at least what he did, he embraced it. He did what he did, and he said, "You know what? Instead of me out here still gangbanging and doing negative stuff, or whatever he was doing, he said, okay, I'm gonna try to make something out of this. Start nonprofits, what have you, and start doing positive things." And it also wound up leading him to run for office. So what I'm saying is that even though he didn't win, it just showed that this man had the mindset to run a corporation from the beginning. He already could have been a business owner and been probably successful. He could have been in Wall Street if he wanted to. It's all about resources. All of us don't have a lot of resources to actually become successful. All of us don't have money to go to college. All of us didn't have money to, or have the athletic ability to be an athlete. Trife Man had none of that. So because it led up to him being what he was in, he was able to transition out of that. Yeah. And he didn't allow his life to become a lifelong career in crime. He wanted to turn it over. But
let me tell you something. That's why I respect people. I respect people that go from being Blood and Crip together, finding knowledge of self, or being Muslim.
Exactly.
Because they showing their growth. I don't respect people that's Muslim or 5% that become Blood and Crip because they're declining. They're not selling. They're moving backwards. They're moonwalking instead of doing a running man. You deal
truly
or going forward. You know what I'm saying? They're going backwards. Once you choose to become a gangbanger, when you got knowledge of self or you Muslim, then you choosing the lowest lowest life form.
But even Trife too, you know, you still have to look at him a little bit with the magnifying glass, only because that's a thin line he got to walk, because he was in a gang, and him being pretty much OG of the set, he was whatever set that is. I never even asked him, but whatever set of Bloods it is, he considered to be a leader. So because he still technically you're still in the areas where you grew up at, a lot of those guys he led, and how Hassan like to say down the straight. And it's a straight down the wrong path, regardless of the fact, Trife have to still kind of own up to the fact that whatever other guys that came underneath him, if they're out there doing whatever they're doing and he was the lead over them, you know what I'm saying? I understand as a man, you can't take accountability for other people's actions, but if you brought them towards the hellfire, then you kind of live with that. So only thing I'm saying is that he kind of still took, from what I understand and see, he still has to walk a thin line between being actually Muslim and living an actual Islamic lifestyle versus being a gang member and just saying they, because there's a lot of gang members, even like in down in that damn Green Monster in the county, as a county jail. I see it all the time. A lot of those guys down in there, I'm telling you, they be sitting there talking all this Muslim that. They'll go to Juma on Friday, do all that, but they're doing the regular business hours in jail. They're conducting regular gang business. They beat shit out of each other. They in there robbing each other for their canteen, doing a lot of bullshit. Check the niggas check in when they in that pod, kind of like that kid, the one that got. I'm sure you saw the video of that dude getting aired out with the microwave. They was hitting him with the water dispenser. Yeah. He went in that pod. He was matter of fact, he from your hood. He's from ExWife. That's actually where he's from.
What guy? What is happening?
You don't know what video I'm talking about?
Nah.
That it was a dude wound up being, he got mental health disorder. They fucked him up, man. He went in some pod in there. I don't know what building it was, but whatever building it was, I'm assuming from what it looked like, they had to be Bloods. They wasn't no Crips. Those Crips don't even do stuff like that normally. Them were Bloods. They went in that pod. They said the kid was in there not even 15 minutes or just about 15 minutes, but he had mental health issues, so he probably was like shouting something out loud, whatever it was. And the only thing you know is you seen one guy, 2, 3, 4 guys went and rushed him. He had the orange jumper, so you already know he was new.
He's the feds.
He didn't even get a green jumper yet. So you
orange jumper feds.
Huh?
The orange jumper. The orange yellow jumper feds.
That's yellow. And the count no.
Yellow feds.
Yellow. Green is the quarantine one. So he came in there with an orange. He had an orange quarantine jump on. So that you already know he just came in that pod. He just came in there. They said he wasn't even in for a day. He was only in for like 15 minutes. But whatever the case was, they ran up on him. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. It was about 7 to 8 heads beating him up, and then they were hitting him with the broom. They threw a mop bucket full of water 2, 3 times on him. They smashed the microwave. You know how big that microwave is?
Hell yeah!
It was some of them pods got smaller ones, some got bigger ones, but it was a big microwave. They went and they dropped it on that kid's head about 3 times. Bro, he died. So all of them got a murder charge now. All of them that touched them, and that's sad because we don't tell them what they was in there for as it is. They probably was all in it. They probably was in it for murder anyway. So you know. So my whole point.
You reap what you sow. When you do savage shit like that, you should be handled savagely.
He was only in there for.
I'm talking about them.
Oh, I got
doing that savage shit. They should be handled savagely.
I look at them as a bunch of punks. You know why? Because
punks,
why would all of them jump on a kid that had a mental health disorder, right? And then this is the real sad part. They put him in there. No CO came in there and broke none of it up. I mean, the COs didn't come to probably like 20 minutes after, man. Like 15.
Oh damn! COs was on the pod. When I was on the fan pod, and COs was on the pod at all times.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know what the fucking stateside is doing.
Listen, you can hear those guys. You can hear there was a CO. There were 2 COs watching it because they got like 2 videos out. They got one video where you don't hear no sound, and then you got another video where you can actually hear the COs in the pod that's watching it. And when they hit him with the microwave, she's like, wow, they did him dirty like that. Then another guy CO in there, they're like, man, that's terrible. Now, I'm not saying that they supposed to be the ones running up in there, because if you know, some of them got to control the movement of the building. So maybe they were in a bubble somewhere where they could not come out to, could come out in response. See that, just to hear them talking. I never heard them call for backup. I didn't hear them call for the turtle squad to come in. I ain't hear them call for nothing.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you something.
So that's terrible. I'm gonna send you that video when we get off. That video of what they did to that kid, and when you see it, you may have heard of him. I don't know, but like I said, he was only there for a domestic situation. He had a problem with somebody in his family. They had an internal fight, and that falls into domestic violence. And then the whole point is that he was down there, but he had mental health issues. So
I'm gonna tell you, some of them COs, some of them black COs and Puerto Rican COs in Essex County are bloods. They gangbangers. Some gangbangers.
Absolutely.
So that's why they laughing. You see what he did to him instead of them calling for help.
Some of them will do that on purpose too, because you know what it is. A lot of them guys that's in there, they want to get some sort of privilege. So what to do is the CO let them be out later, let them be like the guy that work in the kitchen, stuff like that. So a lot of times the CO that's in there usually be the one that can orchestrate people to get their ass whooped in there.
Yep.
So a know they're gonna be there for a while. They're like, listen, I gotta get as much privilege as I can so I can watch TV or just be out and about in the pond. Don't have to be like everybody else. So I've seen it where a lot of those guys, I guess a gang member will come from, like there'll be another set, and maybe that set may be beefing, but you don't know it because you don't know nobody. They'll come into the pod, and when they come in, they automatically looking at who's in there, and they know if they beefing with that particular set. So I see them going to the cell. When they go into the cell, they got to check in. That's when a lot of times they be in there.
Yo, bro, that's where they messed up at. When they start mixing Union County, Essex County together, so everybody Union County, Essex County, you messed that up. That's dangerous because Elizabeth
county executive, your county executive, the one that allowed that. Because Union County executive is the one that controls the money, just like Joe D is the one that controls the money in Essex County.
Yeah. So
whoever the county executive is in Union County is the one that allowed that shit. They allowed that jail to close down there like that. And
you know what? The reason I say that's bad because you got to think about it. Elizabeth got different sets of Bloods and Crips than North sometimes.
And guess what? That's on the surface of. We didn't even talk about Plainfield. Remember Plainfield? They all got to go to Essex County now. That's
all from Union County. You're all from Union County.
And remember, them guys don't even know. A lot of them guys that's over there, they don't even know them people from Newark over there. Of course, you have people from Newark over there. There's always people from Newark everywhere in the state, but particularly there's some people in Plainfield that probably never even been to Newark before. Now they got to go to Newark when they go to jail. That's crazy. So that's crazy. That's crazy.
Elizabeth. I can understand because Elizabeth and North. We hand in hand. We right next to each other.
Exactly. Plainfield's all in the furthest in the.
They almost
They're like in a whole different world. That's like a whole different world to them.
Yeah.
But some of them guys, don't get them twisted now. Some of them guys, of course, they already familiar and know people from Newark, whatever. They probably been out there in the street doing shit together. They got cousins, family, cool. But if some of them jokers that's from over there never even probably don't have no affiliation with Newark, may not have no family there, and all of a sudden they go to jail, they gonna be going down there to this county and don't know nobody, but they actually live right next door in the next county, but don't know nobody because they was on the furthest end of Union County on the other side. So right. For me, that's kind of bad because you're going to put all of them in that one place. I mean, to be honest with you, we really don't know what's really going on in there. But I can definitely tell you
that know what's going on there because I was there. As
far as the Green Monster right now, as far as how things is being orchestrated since they combined both counties.
Oh yeah.
I've never been there since they combined them, so I have no clue how the politics is
going.
When
I was getting out, they just started to combine both counties. Remember, I was getting out. They just started to combine both counties. So they were sending all of us. We got locked up in Elizabeth.
Yeah, they've been doing that from the last 2 years, right? From the last 2 years. So
last 3 years really. They've been doing this since. Remember, I called my case in Elizabeth. And the federal pod was in North. So they sent me to North. You know what I'm saying? But they were sending most of the people from Union County. You caught with a gun, right? They were sending you to North.
True, but this is what they're forgetting about. They was going to North, but you gotta understand, they wasn't going to the main building. They was putting them in Delaney Hall. That's the difference. They was not going to the main building. Now they all going in that main building.
Yeah.
They don't even go to Delaney Hall. They got to go in the main building now. Remember, Delaney had a section for Union County only, and a lot of those guys will be the ones that go outside, be cutting the grass, or they'll be out there picking garbage, or whatever the case is. But they had a section in Delaney Hall for the girls and the guys of Union County. They didn't put them in the Green Monster next door to everybody else. They put them in Delaney Hall. That changed now. Or they will put them in Kentop and all of them. They'll spread them all throughout those type of things. But they didn't put them in the main building. Now, when they close that building down, they all got to go in that main building.
And I'm gonna tell you. And Union County Jail is a better jail the Essex County built was a new one.
Yeah.
it's more updated. You know what I'm saying? Essex County is sinking, bruh.
Yeah.
It floods. Every time it's a bad rain.
Toxic, sludge and all that sits on top of like a toxic site.
Yeah,
that used to be a dump site. Used to be a dump site.
Bruh, I got COPD for being in there.
Are you serious?
Black mold, yeah. But they said since I used to smoke, that they should have to call. But I wasn't smoking there for over 6 months when I got there, right? And I was there 6 months. Next day I got COPD. I ain't had that shit before I got there.
Yeah, but did you go to sick call? Because if you ain't go to sick call, it's gonna be kind of hard to correlate.
I did go to sick call.
Wrap that in so you can actually sue them and get some money.
I did go to sick call. I told them my lung, I couldn't talk to me breathing in there.
Okay, so you went to sick call and got it documented?
Yeah,
One thing what a lot of people don't do when they go to sick calls and stuff, I've noticed, like I said, I've never been to prison or nothing, but I just know from the county level, if you're going to go to jail, at least whatever paperwork you get, you need to take it out with you when you leave. Don't just, I'm going home. You know, a lot of people, I'm going home. They throw everything in the garbage and leave. That's the most stupidest thing a person can do. They need to take all their paperwork or whatever they accumulated while they was in there. You take all that stuff with you because you don't know how it's going to be relevant when you come out. You know, a lot of people that just, I've seen guys that they go to prison.
Marcel, Blue, thank you, please, brother. I appreciate you. BD, salute. Word mine. You are the true liver, son. It's definitely savagery. Go ahead, brother.
What's you got any comments there?
Yeah, comments. Yeah, comments. He said, BD said the guys were supreme in New York in the 1970s and 80s, but many of our strongest fell victim. This led to the rise of gangs in the late 80s, like Decepticons, later Bloods, and Crips.
Exactly. Yeah. New York always had gangs. They always had a lot of gangs over there. And that if you could watch the movie The Warriors and you can see they had gangs there. But the difference with New York, that the gangs mostly was affiliated with area. It was about what territory they was at. It wasn't more or less than fighting with each other just to do it. It was because they were trying to. It's kind of like how the Bloods are in California. That's what those gangs was in New York.
And then most of the gangs was 5% before, but they wasn't considered like. It wasn't considered street gangs like Bloods or Crips. They was considered gangs in their area. They protected their area.
Exactly.
So a lot of the guys who joined them gangs like the Decepticons and what other gang you said? There's like the Decepticons. You know what I'm saying? Because the Decepticons was really there was some other gangs in New York that I heard about, but while I was growing up,
they had a whole bunch of gangs. They probably had more than 10 gangs in the city at that time.
They had the Black Spades.
They had a lot.
They had the Black Spades. They had the what's it called?
Decepticons?
Huh?
Decepticons?
Not Decepticons. It was the Black Spades Decepticons, and it was in Queens they had the Seven Crowns. The guys were called the Seven Crowns. Those guys that did they had the Seven Crowns and a few other gangs. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But they was all from areas, you know what I'm saying? Most of the people that was in them gangs were 5%. Like they had the Supreme Team in Queens too. They had the Supreme Team, which is the A-Team that was in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So this is a good build, bro. I'm about to end this, man, because we hit a lot of topics with this, but I appreciate you coming through showing love too.
One thing though, I know that I wanted to go over there. Maybe I think it was like 3 weeks ago. We ain't never connect on it, but I really want to try to get that together. I was talking about you, me, and Muta to go over there to go check them out because what it is, I want to just build with him real quick. I don't know if you noticed, but he also came out with his own game, which I thought was creative in his own right. He actually got an actual board game that he created, which is called Streets. And I want to go support that, purchase that, and just get some other little he had for the GMAC movement that Trife got. So I wanted us to go over there, and then like you could do an interview and talk to him and stuff like that. He real good, real good.
Yeah, I know. Me and Trife spoke. We good people. We spoke. We supposed to be doing something. Hold on. I want to let you know something too, bro. You gotta be here, man. Hold on, I'm gonna show you something.
You gotta go work tomorrow, right?
Nah, y'all gonna work tomorrow. I'm gonna show you something else. Right here. Make sure you there, bro. I'm gonna send you the invitation, man.
Where's that?
Club Doshakes and Elizabeth on Broad Street, right across from the courthouse.
Oh, okay, I know where it's at. 25th.
Wednesday, 26th. It's on the 26th. Wednesday,
Next
at 5.
Wednesday.
Next
Next
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It started at 5 and close. It ends at 12. You know what I'm saying? But
Oh, that's for your,
I'm not gonna get
your
the
birthday?
Thanksgiving.
It's for your birthday?
My birthday is 24th, but my party is the 26th.
Oh, okay. So you having you having it right over there at Dulce Lounge.
Yeah, Elizabeth, yeah.
All right, speaking of that real quick, I want to tell you, I seen what's the name last week because I'm pretty sure you might have heard of him, but you may not have really known him. It was a brother called Street Doctor. His name was they called him Street Doctor because he was pretty much like the answer to the streets of Newark and all surrounding areas of Essex County, Union County. He was known all over. Street Doctor. He used to rob banks back in the day, dressed like a woman and all that shit.
Oh yeah. I heard him. Yeah.
Okay, well, Street Doctor, he actually was laid to rest last week on Friday. Wow. And I saw Salam because he was like how Salam is in Union County. Yeah. He's active in the street, so they all know each other. So he came. I actually seen Salam the first time I've seen Salam in a minute. Not realizing Salam had just got over COVID himself. He had COVID for a minute.
Yeah, he had COVID for a while. He was in the hospital for a couple months.
So he came out to his like I would say funeral. They like some people like to say janazah because they consider the street to be Muslim, but street was everything, man. It don't matter what religious thing was going on. Street would pull up. It was a masjid. He'll pull up with a kufi on and be sitting there with his legs crossed, just sitting in the corner like this, just listening. That's the type of person Street was. But like I said, I don't think we're gonna ever get like an activist in the street like he was. Somebody that been there, done that, stole Robin Hood. He wanted to get back to the kids. And, he used to teach kids how to box because he actually trained a couple of people to box. They fought one of them fought Roy Jones, and somebody fought one of the other ones. So anyway, I just wanted to say that I did see Salam and a couple of other guys. It's another brother that Salam be with. I forget his name. Shorter guy with glasses on. He used to be with Salam a lot, but he's part of his organization, the group that he got or whatever. And also Street Warriors. That's what it was. Street Doctor had a group. Had a non-profit group called Street Warriors, and Salam Harlem was all part of the street. I didn't know that, but they were all warriors. So that's how they know each other as well. So a lot of Union County, Essex County, Hudson County, and any other surrounding areas from here to New York, they were part of the like I said, the Street Warriors. So collectively, they all came out in respect for Street Doctor. I mean, Ras was there. Ted Green from East Orange, the man for Ted Green was there. It was in Urban, on Urban to the north, off of Clinton Avenue. Yeah. So by 20th Street, it was like near 21st Street. So anyway, the Tony Voss, which is Urbanton mayor, he was there. So it was a lot of people came out for Street. I thought it was real nice that them people did come out. Because a lot of them politicians, they play games, but they came for his funeral because they knew he was a real dude. He really cared about the community and he cared about our youth collectively in Jersey. He really cared. He'd take them in the summertime down to Great Adventures. He'll take them to Coney Island, Sandy Hook. He'll take those kids down and rent a bus and everything. So, R.I.P. the Street Doctor. The Street Doctor.
R.I.P. Street Doctor.
And Thumbprint. It was called the Thumbprint.
Salam, welcome home from the hospital. Salam, brother Salam was in the hospital. Welcome home. He was in the hospital 2 or 3 months fighting COVID, bro. I remember he was in the hospital 2 or 3 months, man. Because he's my friend on Facebook. He's my mother friend too. My mother know him, so he was in contact with us. You know what I'm saying? Elizabeth, we like a tight knit family, basically. You know what I'm saying?
You say he almost died.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Died, yeah.
Wow. He looked good when I seen him on Friday, though. He looked like he was in good spirits. I mean, he looked healthy, and it was a sad situation because it was Street Doctor was getting late, but it was he went out in style, man. At least when he went out, he had a nice gold casket. All the activists, I don't care who they was, a lot of them that was on the street level, some that don't even get along, they all was there. That they all came in respect for him. So shout out to to his family. And to everybody that was a fallen soldier out here that was trying to make a difference for our people, because we ain't the easiest to work together. But Street died trying to work better for us. Even if he'd go at the mayors. He didn't care. He'll tell the mayors like, "Yo, y'all got to get these programs. Y'all need to get some fun to get something in my hand so I can get these kids off the street." He'll tell them that. So,
Malik, happy New Year's, Malik Shabazz, and thank you, bro. The live will be finished in a minute. You can come back and watch. I appreciate you. One love. All right,
so I knew you gotta go.
Yeah, but we definitely we gotta do this again, bro. We definitely gotta do this again. And next time we're gonna base the politics typically most just on Jersey, you know what I'm saying? On Jersey politics.
Yeah, you just get a topic to talk about, and you know the people that's listening and tuning in, let them chime in, and we just talk about something and just build from there, you know?
Yeah, that's what we do. What we're gonna do a Jersey show. We gotta do a Jersey show. We're gonna do a Jersey street show.
How's the StreamYard work? It seems like it's pretty good, solid.
Yeah, it's good. StreamYard great, bro.
So what is the difference between this and then using the YouTube? How does that work? Is this a whole different streaming platform?
It's a whole different streaming platform, but it goes to YouTube.
So they work. So they work together. Is it
you StreamYard? You can go to YouTube. You can go to Facebook and StreamYard. You can go to different other websites of StreamYard.
Can you do Instagram too, or no? No Instagram.
No Instagram. No.
I was say I don't think so. Right? Not Instagram.
No, you can't. I see Instagram. No, I don't got Instagram. I got a bunch of
Facebook. So it's technically Facebook and YouTube.
And there's other places too. Peace, Almighty. Peace. Yeah. My Rocket Team, salute. Peace. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you, man. But yeah, we're gonna get together. We're gonna build on this, man. Let me get out of here so I can get this shit edited and cut up. And I'm gonna holler at you. I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna
upload the video. Okay, no problem.
I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you horn. Probably I'm working tomorrow. Probably before I go to work.
All right, no problem. Hit me up, man, and you know, peace to the people that tuned in and stayed by for like 2 hours, almost just listening to what we were talking about. Because some of them might have not realized what we were talking about. Some, you know, it depends on where they located at. But what I want to do is next time do come on, we're gonna talk about a topic where it don't even matter where you're from in the U.S. You can actually be able to chime in, and it's going to be relevant to everybody that's listening in. Especially mostly, I know it's a lot of men that's in here, so hopefully it'll be something that men that need to discuss because. We need something mainly for us right now. Our women, we got something for them, but us men, we don't have nothing really for us. And we need to be unified. We need to be all on the same page at some point. Cut down this violence.
Facts. Yo, peace, my brother. Much love. You know that.
All right, peace.
Yo, you gotta take Walaikum Salam. Yo, you gotta take me to that halal Mexican restaurant too, bro.
Halal Mexican? What you talking about?
You told that halal Mexican restaurant that was in Irvington. You said it's halal.
Oh yeah, Chinese. That's a Chinese.
The Chinese Mexican spot?
It's not Chinese Mexican.
You said it was a Mexican spot that was halal.
No. I said it's a Chinese restaurant that's halal. I never heard of a Mexican.
I know. I go to Aisha's. I order from there all the time.
No, I'm on Chancellor Avenue. On Chancellor Avenue.
Ain't that Aisha's?
That's not the name of that one. Nah. It ain't called Aisha's now. It's right next to it's a masjid that's right there on Chancellor Avenue. It's a block up from that masjid right there.
I order from Aisha's all the time.
I don't know what Aisha's is, but that's not Aisha's. It's
on Bergen. It's a Bergen.
Oh, see, that's Bergen. I'm talking about on Chancellor, right by Weekway High School.
Okay,
right before you get to Irvington, going up Chancellor Avenue, right before you get to Irvington, there's a Chinese restaurant that's right there. You can Google it. It's the only Chinese restaurant that I know that's ever been around here, and it's been over there for a long time. And also in East Orange, there's a Chinese on Main
Lord
Street.
Shakim. Lord Kashim, peace to the God, Lord Shakim. Salute, brother. Peace to the God, Lord Kashim. Thanks for coming through. You late, but you can watch it from the beginning. But all right, you see on Main Street too, right? Main
Street and EO, there's a halal Chinese store there. They've been there forever too. They've been over 20 years. They've been there.
I like Coney Islands on Main Street and EO too.
Main Street, East Orange.
Coney Islands.
No, Coney Islands on Orange Street.
No, it's one on Orange Street. It's one on Main Street too, bro.
It's one on Main Street.
There's two of them.
Oh, it must be right next to where that Chinese store is at. That store right there.
Probably so. I'm not sure, but it's right on Main Street.
The pharmacy right there. It's a little pharmacy.
As soon as you pass the bridge.
Yeah. It's right on Main. Soon as you go leave the bridge, it's right there. Yeah, I'm talking about Illtown Unisex Salon is right across the street, and like it got millionaire cuts or something. So it's a strip of stores. Muslim brother Saeed owned that whole side. He owned all 10 of those storefronts right there. In Illtown Unisex, right across the street. He grew up with Tretch and them down here. Saeed. Okay. Yeah, Muslim brother.
We gotta check it out, man.
He gets to that bag. He been buying partials for a long time. Saeed got money. Everybody in East Orange knows Saeed. They know Saeed.
All right, well, let me get out of here, bro. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, nice chopping it up, big bro.
Peace.
Peace.